Hello and welcome. This is Tiffany from Sage Online. In this segment of the video, I would like to show you a little bit more about our course administration and walk through some of the new advancements that we've had in Moodle 3.2. Let's get started. So we're going to navigate first to our course, and I'm actually using sample course in this example. I'd like to take note that here in our new course homepage, we can edit our titles straight from the page instead of having to go in and edit from there. So instead of general, if I wanted to say, I can simply click and type, hit enter, and there is a change. If I'd like more text below this section, I will need to hit edit and edit section. I can then add another welcome message if I'd like, and then select Save Changes to return to the Moodle course homepage. As always, we can still move our modules by clicking on the four-way arrow and moving it up or down as needed. And unfortunately, I forgot to tell you, but we always click Turn Editing On before making any changes on our Moodle course homepage. But now that you know, let's go into Add an Activity. If you take a look at our list, some things might look a little bit different. The entire activities portion is alphabetized and games have been split up. And some new activities have been added or names are changed. For example, Advanced Forum is now Moodle Rooms Forum. If you've been using forums all along, I do suggest using Moodle Rooms Forum. It may give you a better experience for you and your students. So, one of the big things that have changed is Big Blue Button. If you haven't used it before and would like to know more, please give us a call. We'd be glad to walk you through it. If you happen to have online classes where you'd like to meet with your students and aren't necessarily in the same room, this is a good option for you. Also, what I'd like to let you know is, if ever you're curious about what an activity is here, you can click on it once and the description will show up for you right here. In Big Blue Button, I have the opportunity to set a presentation for my students and have them show up electronically through Moodle during that set time. And if they were unable to attend, they can show up and watch the video that I'm going to be recording and placing into Moodle at their leisure. I'm going to click Add to show you a little bit about the settings that might help you with your students. When we sign up, we're going to add a name. We can send a notification to those who are participating, and a new feature for Big Blue Button with Moodle 3.2 is that I can select which participants are going to be with me during this presentation. As part of the tool of Big Blue Button, we can also change moderators. So if you've got a large class and you'd like to have small groups and you'd like a certain person be the moderator when they join the Big Blue Button session, then you can select them at this time. When all of your settings have been changed, you can click Save and Return to Course or Save and Display. Your students can join you when the time comes. Okay, now that we're done with Big Blue Button, let's go back into our sample course, and I'd love to show you more about quizzes. Now, the base of the quiz has not really changed so much, but what has changed is the availability of questions. There's a broader range of questions available, so for those of you in math and science, this might be an exciting ride for you. And if not, we'll keep looking for tools and resources to keep our students engaged and learning. I've done one sample question that I actually do like. It's called a drop-down question. You can add text and then choose which word you'd like them to guess at to ensure that they do have knowledge that you've given them. This is just a sample question, but I can answer it as a student with the correct answer there and finish my attempt. And you can see from here that I've answered the question correctly. So this is what the student sees with the drop-down, and you can use this for really any sort of text that you're covering. But let's go back and see some other options. I'm going to go in and click Edit Quiz so we can choose what type of questions we have. So I have one question set up in here, and you can see this is the text that I would use. If we click into the gearbox, we can see how it's set up. Here we'll choose the question name, and then here we'll add the text, and where you'd like the student to guess, you're going to put 2 brackets on each side and number the word, and down here you'll answer it correctly in the first 2 or 3 columns, depending on how many questions you have for them, and then select the grouping number. Once you've got the correct answers, you can add false answers in the correct group, and then save and continue editing, or save changes and be done with the question in general. Okay, so let's look at adding all of our questions. So when we click add a new question, this is going to bring up all the different question types. Some we've seen before, such as multiple choice, all or nothing. We do have a new one called drag and drop markers. This allows us to have the student select a certain portion of a grid and name it. So I have one of those set up for you on the side here, and I want to just walk you through what it would be. So this one is a sample, it's a color wheel, and I'm asking them to identify the colors. And as we scroll down, I want you to see what I've done here is I've chosen an image, uploaded the image, and as I move my arrow around the screen here, you'll see that the coordinates do change. So that's how I'm getting my information. And then I'm going to scroll down to drop zones and plug in those coordinates. As I change the coordinates, the shape changes. Once I'm satisfied with my drop zones all organized, I can go up to my markers and say how many of each marker would I like, what are their names, and then reapply those down here. So this polygon, or if I change it to a circle, and let's look at that, or if I change it to a rectangle, where my drop zone changes. So this drop zone as a polygon is selected as drop zone yellow. There are one of those drop zones, and I am satisfied with my results here. I can now go down and select Save Changes. Now that we look at the student view by clicking the magnifying glass, we can see that this is what our question will look like. We will have 3 different answers to give on this same chart: red, blue, and yellow. So now that we've seen a couple different question types than we've seen before, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that there may be new ones and there may be some that we're not so familiar with right now, but we would love to work with you. If any of these look like they might work for your course, please let us know. Some of you have content that we would need to use to make samples out of and test and ensure that they are useful for yourself and for your students. We will come up with tutorials once we understand more some of these newer questions. And if you have any questions on any of these and would like to try any of them out, please feel free. And if you have any questions that we can answer for you, give us a call, 518-244-4580, or sageonline@sage.edu. Thank you so much. Happy teaching.